Oh, you know what? It always does that, even though, like, it was perfectly fine when I tested it out earlier. Always. Always. Alright, so hopefully this should pick up okay. But anyways, we're back after 2 months. You know, the norm stuff, as you can see, today's stressful day. My name's not on the bottom because my program wanted to glitch it out constantly, and it was super annoying, and I couldn't figure out why. And so I couldn't add it secondary because you all know that my lower thirds are constantly changing with like other graphics, with like, you know, social media and oh my god, I can't talk today, and like sponsors and stuff like that. So my name's not on there today, but if you have watched this before, you should all know that I'm Jeff. And Kim and Anna are not here today. Hopefully they're watching, otherwise I'm going to be super mad at them. Don't mind the sitting the lowness because I got a new setup. So I got a new computer desk. So the one I was using is now our amazing table, except the lawn chairs are now too low for it. So we look like we're short people. So that's just how it goes. But as you can see, there is a name on the lower third. You've got Nicole over here, who, as you can also see, is an author. She wrote Detroit. Oh God, I'm sorry, I messed that up. Haunted Detroit and Haunted Bay City. So she's on here today, talking about whatever we want to talk about. And you know the drill. If there are any, and I don't know if there are because you guys haven't said hi, but if there's any of the kids that I've substituted for watching this, for those that have subscribed, and I know you have because you were really excited about it and you showed me, I just want to give a quick shout out to you. What's up? I don't know when I'll see you guys again, but I'm sure I'll get some gigs there at the middle school or high school or both relatively soon. But other than that, we normally kick off with what's happened to us recently. What's happened to me recently is I got a life back. October, I didn't have a life. It was wake up, work, sleep, repeat. And usually it was like 2 jobs each day. So I didn't have time for anything. And it started to be like that near the end of September, which is why September's live was canceled. And she was going to be the guest on September's, instead, but it didn't work out that way. Plus, I was so tired. Like, that, it was getting to me. Like, I was on autopilot. Like, until I was able to nap a couple of days, I was on autopilot, for sure. So I haven't really done anything super exciting, besides I went to the Mid-Michigan Paracon. And that was kind of it. I did read the Haunted Detroit book, which is very interesting. I knew more about Detroit than I did about Bay City, as I was kind of telling you. So it was interesting on the Bay City one to, hear about these different places, and I was like, I want to go. But yeah, I have a few things that's changed besides the table. You can see I have a nice little ghost prop back here. I got that from the job I was working, and if my walls weren't so white from, the lights and just white in general, I had these awesome, what they're called is bubble tubes, and they were red, and you see bubbles, and they were awesome, but you literally couldn't see the red. It looked more like pinkish, and it wasn't very bright, so I said no. But yeah, other than that, it is what it is. I haven't had too many experiences around my house, as I usually tell you guys. Haven't had anything when I was at the haunt, nothing really going on up there. So that's the recap for the last 2 months, 2.5 months. Like, that's my recap. I got nothing. I was living a boring life. But yeah, anyways, so if you're on, especially if anybody's on who is normally here, some of our top fans that may or may not still be top fan, but I'm still going to consider you one. Say hi so you can get your graphic on screen like my friend Derek did, but that was accidental. I didn't mean for that to happen. But if you're watching, what's up, buddy? But other than that, I do have something on here really quick. It's from somebody named Mortiz. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It says Haunted Investigators of Michigan in the House.
Oh, I
and it
love
says
them.
Hi, Nick.
I love
So, sorry if I butchered your name. And Ron's on. Ron is one of the guys I work with at the Haunted House. He's also a paranormal investigator. What's up, Ron? How you doing, buddy? I heard your... oh my God. I can't today, apparently. Your convention that you put on, I heard that went pretty well. From Kim, so she could have just lied to me, but I heard it went pretty well, so hopefully she didn't lie to me, because you know Kim. And then we have the same gentleman. He said, had the pleasure of being interviewed for her book. Oh, well, I'm super jealous. Jealous like crazy. I didn't have anything to chime in for Detroit, though, so I'm not super upset about it. I've only been around here, a couple places out of state. What was it? Linden? Or no.
Okay.
Yeah, Lennon. I don't remember. Lennon? I don't know. Someplace out to the west a little ways, Shiawassee County. And then, that's kind of it. I haven't ventured too far.
You should.
I know.
There's a lot to see out
It's
there.
all money. I did go to a couple places in Detroit. Like, I did do the old Sixth.
Right.
And then, I was more or less like helping with the event, but I was there for a few hours for the not Erebus. Oh my God. I just can't today. Eloise.
Oh, okay.
That was a couple years ago, but I didn't know anything about Eloise, so I just did my own investigation with people being too loud. But I still did stuff. I got some decent stuff going on, you know.
Right. That's better.
But yeah, and then Angel says hi.
Hello.
Good Witch. I don't know if you know this person.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
And then Ron. Yep. And then. Yeah, Kim told me the after party was awesome. I forgot that was a thing, and I didn't go. So my apologies. I keep saying it every year. I will go next year. Next year. Remind me. Oh, and Ron, I don't know if I showed you this, but look it. Boom. Look at that. You got your graphic now. Sorry, I just had to show it.
That's cool.
All right. Anyways, so enough about me. And the random stuff. I ramble, so you can tell me to shut up anytime. I won't take it personally. I ramble.
No, you're fine.
So anyways, you have, besides writing the 2 books, you actually started a paranormal team. I don't remember how long ago. You did mention it in that like Q&A thing at the Mid-Michigan Paracon, I think.
Yeah, it was 2009.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
I was going to say like 4 or 5 years ago,
Oh,
so
no.
it's been way longer than that.
Yes.
So how did that come about?
I was just kind of a weird kid, to be honest. I was always just into the paranormal, scary movies, anything spooky. And so I kind of just did my own thing when I was younger. I didn't even know there were people that investigated the paranormal, like, legitimately. Mm-hmm. And then I came across the show Ghost Hunters on the Sci-Fi Channel, and I was like, oh my God, these people are doing what I want to be doing. You know what I mean? So it was just kind of like validating my interests. And then I started my own team in 2009, but I would not say that, the Ghost Hunters were the sole reason I started my team. They just kind of validated what I wanted to be doing. But like I said, it was just always something I was interested in and kind of my calling, I guess you could say.
Here you go.
So
See, the team I was on when I started in 2017.
yeah.
I mean, I watch the shows, and I mean, anymore it's like, can you take them seriously? Can you not? Because you just never know anymore. But yeah, I was just bored sitting at home. So I was like, I'm gonna look up teams, see what's close by.
Oh yeah.
And out of like so many I contacted, I never heard anything back. I don't know if like the emails or not were still legit. And a couple of them like, well, we're full up, but you can start your own team. I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, I just want to join one. And then I did hear back, and then I joined the one I was on. And now I'm kind of just, I mean, then I started this a few years ago, back in 2019. I was still part of the team. This was more or less like my own little thing here and there.
Yeah.
But now it's more or less my baby, even though it's been like a 2-year hiatus since I've really done a whole lot, and I still have videos to edit, which I have a new computer desk, so it will be more comfortable to edit, and I'm going to start doing that. So be on the lookout for that. I know I've promised that quite a bit throughout the year. I mean it this time. But no, yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I could never have just started mine, because I'd have been like, I don't know, people would, like, kind of like, people would think I'm crazy, because for the longest time,
they did.
I knew there were some people that were like, oh yeah, you know, blah blah blah, but I didn't really know them.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like I started to do it when I joined that team, and I just told my mom about it one day, and I'm like, she don't think I'm crazy and stupid, but she's like, oh really? You know, she was like really fascinated by it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I would have thought for sure this would be the one person that would have been like, you're dumb, it's not real. But she didn't. She was actually fascinated by it. So our thing hasn't really been so much of a thing anymore, because I don't go over there as often as I used to for like little things here and there. But we used to, when I'd go over, I'd have like all the, you know, say Ghost Adventures or something, like recorded for like the season or something. So we'd start watching those. So that was our thing.
Oh, nice.
But I have Discovery Plus, so I just watch them here.
Oh yeah. I mean, that works out.
Right? Because I'd go over there and be like, I need to catch up on my shows. Don't talk to me.
Yeah. How far we've come.
Right? And then my mom was like, what do you watch? And I tell her, she's like, oh, all right, I'll come down and watch it. And then, I mean, from there, she'd be like, oh, this is interesting. And I'm like, all right, you know, and that was our thing. And then I got Discovery Plus, and I didn't need to do it anymore. And she's like, you don't come over to watch? I'm like, I have Discovery Plus, I don't need to.
Yeah, COVID's made it really easy for us to not leave our house for any reason.
Right. Yeah, so that was always my thing. I was like, all right. Because I don't Netflix, I don't do anything. It's Discovery Plus, Amazon, or, you know, like what I own. So, I mean, that's my life. That's my entertainment.
You do have a lot of DVDs.
I know. I don't have TV. I'm like, screw that. And I used to work in commercials, and I'm like, I don't have TV. Like, I won't buy it.
Yeah. Everything's expensive.
It is. So they always thought I was weird too. Like, how do you work here and you don't like have like? Do you even have an antenna? I'm like, no. Like, I'm like, I ain't watching stuff and having to deal with commercials. Like, I'm like, I can watch it later on. I'm good. I can buy the show, whatever.
I don't think I have TV either. I mean, I'm not a big tech savvy person, people, so understand that's why I don't know if I have TV. I don't think I do. I think I just have like Netflix, Prime Video, Discovery Plus, all the add-on apps or whatever. But I don't have like actual TV.
Even heck, it's expensive, but it's cheaper than paying for cable.
Yeah.
Minus the internet, you know.
And I'd rather just watch shows that I want to watch or movies that I want to watch instead of having to flip through channels.
Oh, I know. It's horrible.
That's
like, I don't know how
a time waster.
My mom does that when I'm there on occasion. I'm like, how do you do this anymore?
Right. I don't watch that much TV, but when I do, I'm going to make sure it's something I want to watch.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And then really quick, from Angel, she says, hey, Nicole, what's your all-time favorite investigation that you've done?
My all-time favorite investigation would probably be when I went to the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. I've been there a lot, to be honest, so I can't even recall how many times I've actually been there. And with that being said, I've investigated that place a lot, and each and every time it's been very exciting. There's been a lot of evidence, so definitely every time I've gone to the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, it's been worth going to, so I would recommend if you're looking for somewhere that's really cool with history, really haunted, go to Weston, West Virginia. There's not too much around the asylum, but the asylum is definitely worth the trip. It's incredible. It's huge. So
I haven't been there. I want to.
Oh,
super
amazing.
Jealous. There's a lot of places I want to go.
You could go to the Traverse City Asylum, but you can't investigate it. But it's kind of the same setup.
You can do it secretly.
It's true.
I've done that a few times.
You can take the underground tunnel tour. That's something that Traverse City Hospital offers.
Okay.
That is pretty cool and unique.
Because I'm almost like, I went to the Ohio State Reformatory, and but we went just like a normal like everyday tour, and I just took my digital recorder. So when I could break away from a bunch of people before they could come up to the next area, I'd go a couple different rooms or at least one room, and I'd be like, blah, 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 you know, and
that
and
place
then
is
like
so cool.
so many cold spots I got, and there was one like because the temp outside was warm, and in the building it wasn't as warm. Like it wasn't cold, but it wasn't like to the that temperature outside. It was just like warmer than you would hope for it to be in there. And then all of a sudden it was just like air conditioning around me, and I was just holding the digital recorder and asking questions, and it was just like and I was like, well, let me make sure that it's not just me. So a couple people I'd gone with that ended up coming in that room. I was like, hey, come here, I don't want to be weird, but is there like a giant cold spot by around me? They're like, huh? I'm like, just feel it. And they did it. They're like, oh my god, it's freezing. I'm like, all right, it's just me then, or it's not just me.
I would love to investigate there. I've heard that place is really cool, but I don't have much time to investigate right now because I am just finishing up book number 3. And I think I'm insane for even taking on that project because I wrote pretty much these books in such a short period of time. Like 2 books, these 2, in under a year.
Oh, really? I didn't realize.
I mean, they came out like, a couple of years apart.
Oh, okay.
But that doesn't mean that I didn't write them in a year.
Right.
Under a year.
Right.
Oh, that's a lot. And then, right after, those ones came out, then I jumped on the next project. And it's very grueling, so I cannot wait to finish this.
You're telling me about that.
And then I'm going to feel like I'm free.
I don't envy you at the moment on that one. Like we were talking about, I started typing, writing down some stuff, kind of creating something about the, the shit that's going on in my house. And I don't really say shit like it's a bad thing, but, just everything that's happened from like my first experience to, oh my God. The random like electronic type stuff. It's just it's crazy. I told you a little bit, but yeah, like that would be it. Like if I could finish that one, I'd be like, no more. Oh, like I would only do it because it's my house, like or my experiences in general, but it's more of like my house. So
well, this is so dumb, guys, but the reason I didn't actually go on to get my master's degree is because I didn't want to write a thesis. And then I go and write 3 freaking books. Might as well go back to school.
I feel like a thesis would have been like way worse than.
Oh, you're right.
Than like.
Oh, you're right.
3 books. I'm just saying. I don't know how long theses are.
Yeah, because some of this
you have to do a whole lot of research for my understanding, but
yeah, it's like fact and subjective material. So you know what I mean. So it's like. Whereas a thesis, it's got to be like all correct.
Yeah.
That would probably suck. So maybe I'll just stick with my 3 books.
Yeah, I'm gonna say don't envy that master's thing because that thesis you're talking about would have been way worse. And that was me not knowing, or not even getting that far.
Yeah.
I'll never get a master's. I don't even have a bachelor. I just have my associate.
I have 2 degrees and 2 certificates, and
if you could, like, I have enough associates that it would equal a bachelor's.
Yeah, I just, I feel like a forever student because I'm always thinking about, like, how can I improve my life? What can I do to better myself? And then I'm always thinking, like, maybe I should, in addition to what I'm doing now, go back to school and do this or that. But I don't know. I feel like I'm 33 years old and I'm still clueless on what it is that... I mean, I right now I know, like, working in the paranormal and working as a massage therapist, like, I know I'm solid on those two things. Like, I love those two things. But I just feel like I want to take on another job of some sort. But I don't know what avenue I want to pursue.
Right.
I want to have those, 5-6 streams of income that everybody else seems to have, that are like the influencers on Instagram and all these people that are promoting, take my class and learn how to make 6 figures. Like, I need the secret.
Yeah, I mean, that was and still is me with YouTube.
Yeah.
I hate Facebook, but that's the only one that I will use besides YouTube. And then, like, I have an Instagram, which I was able to get a couple people to do that for me, but I've stopped making content to get on there.
That's the thing. That's the problem, too, is I don't have the time to make content. I am so busy, and I know I probably shouldn't even be looking into, like, what else can I do? But I'm just that type of person that, if I'm not doing something productive, I feel like I'm wasting my time. And so I don't really have time to create content. So sometimes, like, I'll make the most mundane TikTok video and upload it and just hope somebody likes it,
Right.
Just hoping that people will like it.
Well, and on that point, like, I hate TikTok. Like, I don't use it.
Yeah.
Like, I despise it. I personally think it's dumb. But Kim, who's not here, and hopefully she's watching, has she, just to make sure, like, like the channel name, Ghostly Hauntings hasn't been taken, because she was like, I hate that you've had to add, like, the year or something, and I'm like, I know, but I had to. So she went and claimed it really quick, and we didn't do anything. But then, like, I was kind of telling you, like, my security videos, because it would only be like one camera at first. I only had one camera at first, so it would only be like the living room camera, and it would go off, and I was telling you some stuff about it, and I would, like, show her, and I might show a few people, maybe post on Facebook or something, and then it just was like, hey, if I send these to you, will you put them on TikTok? I'm like, I don't understand it, I'm not gonna do it, but if you want to. And some of the videos are hit or miss, but she was telling me, and I'm sure it's got more now, and for whatever reason we can't understand, but it's one that's got, at least at the time that I knew, had, I think it was like over 200 views, or 200,000 views.
Dang, yeah.
But we don't have, like, the subscribers to match that, which I'm like, okay, that would be great. Come to YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the mental health videos do really well. And I made one time, but then I deleted it because I was like, I don't want to put myself... not that I'm going to say I'm perfect. I'm not. By any stretch. And I do have my own issues, believe me. But I don't know that I'm comfortable, like, just throwing that out there for millions of people to see and judge me. It's bad enough when somebody leaves, like, a lukewarm review or something. So I don't really like that. But, and that's part of my... just being uncomfortable sometimes with being kind of in the public eye with putting the books out there and putting myself out there, because people are harsh, they're judgmental, and I don't want to be treated like that. I'm kind of shy, really, in my personal life, and so I just want to, do what I love to do and not be judged for it, but... I do like it when people post that kind of content, because it makes me feel validated in my own, my own emotions and feelings. So,
right. And I'm the same way. It was like, when I started this, I'm like, oh yeah, that needs to be a thing. Like, as soon as I'd click that button to go live, I'm like, I don't like this, like, at all. And I'm still, like, not a fan, but I mean, obviously I've warmed up to it. And then I talk shit about stuff, and I'm like, oh, my house this, my house that, or I was here, or like, this is bullshit. And I mean, it's like, it is what it is. People are watching, they're gonna either agree, disagree, or they're like, oh, okay, like, I can see your point. In either case, I don't care. Well, I do. I mean, it's cool if you agree or something, but I I mean, if you disagree, I mean, more power to you. If you don't care, well, hey, maybe you'll get swayed somehow at some point. But then, yeah, and then it was, doing the conventions and stuff. It's like, this is awkward. Like, because I don't like people.
That's the difference. I love people, but I don't want to have like any kind of conflicts with people, and there's a lot of drama in the paranormal.
Oh, for sure.
Sorry, everybody out there, but it's the truth. And there's so many things that have just happened by me just existing and breathing, and just things that have been said to me and the way I've been treated, and so it's the truth, and I just don't want those confrontational experiences. Like, I just want to be cool with people. I do love going to the conventions and seeing my friends and seeing like-minded people and getting to sometimes get to see some of the celebrities that I like, and that's why I keep going back. And plus, I make pretty good money at them too. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, people enjoy buying the books. They enjoy coming to get a spooky spa massage. But at the same time, there are some people that I tend to avoid, and vice versa for them, because they just, we know that if we cross paths, it's probably not going to be a good thing. And
right.
It's just unfortunate it has to be that way, because we're all just these weird people that are into the paranormal, and you know what I mean, there's enough room for all of us. So
right. And yeah, that one guy, I'm not gonna try and butcher his name anymore, but the dude from Haunted Investigators of
Mark?
Michigan. Yeah, he's like, drama. He's like, drama, that's an understatement.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
have horror stories of how, like, people have smeared my name and created rumors about me that, I mean, they're so far from the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is I just try to keep doing what I'm doing, and I do try to talk kindly about, the people that I associate with. And I don't ever try to throw names out there and publicly bash anybody, because I'm not, that type of person. But I just kind of wish it was, I just wish like it was a bit of a nicer community, because like I said, like I found myself in this community because when I was a kid, I was the weird, like, ghost kid that everybody was afraid of spending the night because I was into, like, all the spooky stuff. And when I got older, that I found all these other people that, they like at paranormal investigating, and they're into, like, the hauntings, and they want to see ghosts. And I'm like, that's me, like, I want to spend the night in the most haunted hotel, or
for sure,
haunted castle, or something like that. So I just wish that we could all get along. It's unrealistic, because when you get a group of people together, there's always going to be those troublemaker types. But
for sure,
if we could all just kind of pretend even to get along,
I know, right?
Just for the sake of whatever.
Right, I get it. Nice. You don't agree. I don't agree, but
I mean, you don't have to like everybody, but you can be cordial to people. That's professionalism,
Right. Yeah.
So.
It's just like, all right. And that's my thing, and then like that's why I can't do because there's been times it's like, you should come to this like big event, and you get people, and I'm sorry if anybody watching has used like those free apps on your phone, but they irritate me, and they're like, oh my god, like there's something right there, and I'm like, that's just like a free app that's for fun, right? It says it in the description. I'd be like, here, let me download it really quick. Let's see if ours match up,
Right.
But I would be that person. I mean, in that scenario, I'd be that person and be the complete asshole. But I would try not to be, unless it was just like the same person was like, oh my god, like this is so awesome, this is so accurate. And I'd be like, all right, enough's enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's a lot of drama. There really is.
I don't know why.
It's
horrible. It's like there doesn't need to be, and it's like everything's this big competition, like who can investigate more places, or who can investigate the most haunted, or who put out more books, or who put out. It's like, I don't write my books to up anybody. I write those books because I'm like, yeah, when I die, like, I want to leave behind some kind of a legacy, you know?
Right.
Like, I want to be proud of the fact that I was able to, like, mentally get through writing 3 books. And
Right.
it's empowering to see those at, like, Barnes & Noble, because, you know, I had a couple English teachers who were not so nice to me, and that's just like a slap in the face to them. But you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not trying to say, like, oh, well, my books are better than, you know, so-and-so's books.
Right.
I support everybody's. I have tons of these books at home from all different authors. And
Okay. You're like, I have my own books.
No. I mean, like, the Haunted America series,
Right.
or,
Yeah.
you know, I like R.L. Stine. I like pretty much just, like, any paranormal author, any author in general. Like, I'll buy your book if I'm not... You know, if I don't have the time to read it, I will give it to my mom to read because she loves to read. So I just love to support people that are, you know, trying to survive and,
Right.
and doing things that are creative, because I just know how it is.
Right. Oh, for sure.
It's rough sometimes.
Yeah. And before it moves up and out of my view, from Angel, she had a follow-up question to the favorite place. She asked, is there anywhere you wouldn't go back to?
Would not go back to. Correct?
Yes.
Oh, this is going to be a hard one. Well,
clearly there hasn't been, like, horrible places.
Well, there was okay. I don't want to make anybody mad.
You know what? I already told you.
There is a couple places I would
spot.
not go back to. One of them, primarily because I don't like one of the investigators there. I'm not saying who. And I'm not going to say where, but I will tell you the one that I would probably not go back to is, I think it's called the McFadden Ross House in Dearborn.
I've never heard of that one.
Do you mind if I look it up real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
I gotta look this up real quick. Make sure that I'm telling you the right name.
Yeah.
But we went on this, like, public investigation there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's called the McFadden Ross House. I kid you not, when I went into this investigation, there was probably 40 people in this little space. And all of the evidence had to be thrown out because it was contaminated.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I'd probably not go back there for anything, because it's just such a small area, unless it was just my team or something like that.
Right.
Because I don't want to throw my money away.
Oh, for sure. I always have those issues, like the older houses.
Yeah.
And there's, like, literally no, like, depth between floors, so you know, the faintest person talking below, you're gonna hear them up top. And yeah, I've been to a few of those places, and I'm just like, no, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, I also wouldn't do any more of those, like, ghost hunt with a celebrity events. I've done a lot of those, and I love the people that I went to go see, the celebrities, but I hated the quality of the investigation, and that's the whole reason I went. Was so that I could investigate with the celebrities, but they have so many people that show up at those events, and it's just like you're not getting a good quality investigation, and they're so expensive. I mean, upwards of like $200, $250, maybe even $300 or more, and I cannot justify spending that kind of money and then having to throw out all that evidence just to be breathing in the midst of, you know, somebody that was on TV.
Noise. Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm sorry, like, you're not any better than anybody else just because you're on TV. Like, you breathe the same air that we do.
Right, yeah. Exactly.
Jeez. Yep. I mean, come on.
Yeah, because you get people who, you know, have done it for a while, who, you know, like, really into it, like, they do it on their own, or maybe they're part of a team. But then you just get the average person who's like, oh, this would be fun, and I've seen them on TV, and it's like, it's just like they're talking, and you're like, shut up.
And the celebrities have the time, they don't even talk to you. Like, they don't really talk to you or engage that much with you, so you're paying for, like, a second of their time. I'm not a big fan of those, obviously, but you know, like, when I was doing my public ghost hunt, which actually didn't end up happening due to a structural issue. But I was charging $150, and I was only getting a quarter of that. And then the rest of that money was going to 2 different organizations, going back into my community. And people are complaining that about the price. And I'm like, but this money, over half of this money is going to help out, this organization. It's going to help restore this building. I mean, it was going to a good cause, but people are still complaining.
I know, yeah.
So it's like, but yet, I'm just like, I don't have a production crew or anybody who can boost me or get people to buy my books. Like, I am pretty essentially a one-man show.
Yeah.
Just trying to survive and be able to buy groceries and feed my cats.
Right.
So I mean, like, I'm not, I don't think I take trips sometimes. I like to travel, but I would not say by any means my lifestyle is lavish.
Yeah.
By any means.
Yeah, no, I got you for sure. No, I understand that. And then there was, again, before I lose it, and then the one guy again, he said, how about the voice of the child we heard in the carriage house at the Whitney?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was creepy.
Like you audibly heard it, or
well,
it was just like an EVP or like a spirit box type of thing.
Yeah, like he played back this audio when we were up there, and we could hear a child. It was freaky. I think he posted it. If you posted it, post the link down below.
Yeah, do
for
that
for the viewers,
so I can listen to it.
Because it was really impressive.
Oh, the first EVP I ever got and I listened to was on this is back when I joined that team. We went to the Bruce Manor.
Oh,
Bruce
yeah. Bruce Mansion.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And we were doing something, and they're like a little girl spirit that was there, and I had it out, and I was trying to talk to her and stuff like that, and and I was asking her questions, and after listening back to it, like, she was answering them, and I'm like, oh, that's adorable, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then I had stopped asking her questions because a couple of us started talking, and then I shit you not. And this made me freeze, like goosebumps, like I couldn't move, like my hands on my mouse, and I'm like, to get my attention that I didn't know she was trying to do, she was just like, Jeff, and like she kind of like yelled it in a sense, and I was just, I froze. I was like, oh my god! I'm like, it's my name, like,
yeah, that's freaky.
And I'm like, and I know nobody did that there,
yeah.
And I mean, it was very quiet, very kind of whisperish. And and with my editing programs and stuff, like I can go through and try and clean up some of like the room noise and whatnot if I can. And doing that, like, and I'm like, well, let me make sure, and I cleaned it up the best I could, and I played it, and again, like, I was just frozen. I was like, oh my god,
that's awesome.
That's like that was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, like, that's awesome. And that really was, like, a good stepping stone. Like, I got some other things throughout, but nothing compared to the little girl, like, answering her questions, like, how old she is, other miscellaneous, things, and then her yelling my name because I stopped talking to her.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, there's always the one thing that kind of gets you hooked. But yeah, I hear things audibly at times because he said, yeah, Audible heard it. I don't always hear it, and if I do hear something, it might take me a second to register it because I'm like, what? Because I'm not paying attention for it. And like, I've heard it here, and it takes me a second, and I'm like, oh, all right, because I heard something. I'm like, who said that? And I was like, oh, and I'm like, what was it? And I'm playing it back in my head. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. And I've also been laughed at before.
I don't always hear it like right on the first, when it happens always right away. Sometimes it's like, somebody will say to me like, did you hear that? I'm like, no. So then they'll rewind it, and I'll be like, oh my god, how did I not hear that?
Right.
But when we were at the Trans Allegheny Asylum, It was me and another female investigator. The building was like locked down for the night. It was just the two of us. We were walking down the geriatrics ward. And I said, is there somebody... Oh, no, I said something like, can you give us a sign of your presence? Or is there somebody who's here with us right now? Something along those lines. And it sounded, I kid you not, like 100 like stretchers and med carts were coming at me. You could hear the old wheels, like the squeaky wheels. And it was deafening. Yeah, it was so loud. It was just sounded like a barrage of things were like coming at me. And then I flicked on my flashlight and nothing was there and the sound stopped. However, on the audio track, it kept going. So.
Yeah,
crazy stuff.
Like every time I've heard something is when I'm not, like, I'm around my house just doing stuff, because I hear a lot of stuff here. I don't really hear a lot, you know, like not voices anyways. Like I'll hear like, you know, there was one time I heard like literally, like a bell ringing, and and I was like instantly, like it sounded like it came from like our surrounding area from the room we were in. And so I'm looking, I'm like, I see nothing, and I'm like, nothing has a bell, and you know, there's not like there's like a weird draft of some kind that randomly like knocks something into anything. So I started scouring the location, and the last place I go to is down in the kitchen of this place, and they have for decoration like one of those old style phones, you know, and I was like, all right, like this is the last thing, and I just went like this. And it, you know, it made the like kind of like the ringing-ish noise in a sense. And I'm like, that's what it was.
Yeah.
But we were up like 3 floors. You know, it was like a 3-story house. So we were up there like on that last floor, and it sounded like it just came like in that room. And you know, I was like, all right, go up, you know, like somebody go up there really quick and see if you can hear this, you know, and I'm like, when you're up there, you know, yell as loud as you can so I know you're up there.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's so cool. Like I would do it, and I didn't hear him say anything, and I would do it, nothing. And so they ended up coming down, they're like, did you do it? And I'm like, yeah, I did it like 3 times, you know, like clearly you didn't hear it.
That's cool though.
And it was crazy.
I love those experiences.
Oh, for sure.
Because I mean, like, even if those people didn't hear it, I heard it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's worth it.
And I've had that experience the one time at the because I work at Exit 13 during the season, and I help build and stuff like that. Like I know the people. And there was one day, the owner, she called me up there because she had like some weird shit going on, and she was up there building. And so I go up there, and she, I guess, was walking me to the room, into one of the rooms that she'd had this thing happen. Well, when she stopped at that, just as that moment happened, like I heard the most blood-curdling scream inside the building. Like there was nothing outside. Like you can barely hear, you know, like cars sometimes, depending on where you're at in the building, you know. And it was just like, I was like, oh my God. And she stopped at that moment. I'm like, you heard that too? And she's like, heard what? And I'm like, you did not just hear like this blood-curdling scream that was, it sounded like it was like 20 feet away. And she's like, no, I stopped so we could go down this little hallway so I could take you to the room. And I'm like, okay.
Is she a model? The owner?
Rebecca? No.
You know who I'm talking about?
I think so.
She's got like long black hair, right?
Yeah, no, she doesn't.
She's really pretty.
Yeah, she does her own like picture stuff, but no, as far as I know, she doesn't really do any
She could be a model. Rebecca, go be a model. You fine, girl. You fine.
Oh man, don't put that idea in her head. Don't do it. Don't do it. She'll just deny it anyways. But let's see here, and there was something else. Ron said he likes private investigations. I do too. I mean, that's just the way to do it.
Me too.
I mean, because then you can yell at your own team or, you know, yourself if you're like, damn it, I made that noise, you know.
Yeah, and you can have like 4 people in there versus like 60, which is so much better.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, if it were up to me, sometimes I think I'd just like go in by myself, you know.
Oh, I've done that too.
Yeah.
I've done that too. I'm
me too.
I'm gonna go up here so you guys aren't contaminating my stuff.
Yeah.
And then the Mark from the Haunted Michigan something, whatever. I'm going to scroll back up and see it. Haunted Investigators of Michigan. I'm sorry. I'm horrible at remembering things. Like, my short-term memory is not good. Like,
really?
Not good at all. Like, it's horrible.
I remember stuff forever. I remember stuff from when I was like 3 and my mom threw my ice cream cone out. Like, that's why you can't wrong me because I'll never forget.
Some of that stuff, I mean, it's been more of like the past recent years. Like, my short-term memory is just horrible. Oh. Like, you could literally, like, just tell me your name. And then if I have somebody standing next to me, too, I'll be like, what was her name again? And it might even be, like, 30 seconds. Like, I literally, like, I just don't retain a lot of stuff. And, but, I mean, things in the past, I'm like, you remember this? Because I do, and that pissed me off.
I have just an exceptionally short memory.
And there's, like, things I won't let certain people live down. But yeah, it's just, I don't even know where I was going with that. Oh, and he's like, he's just like, there's no experts in the paranormal field, which there's not. They can claim to be. I mean, I could claim to be, but I'd be shooting so much smoke out my ass that maybe somebody was like breathing in it and would believe me, but...
Well, somebody did that. Like, when I was putting on my investigation, somebody put, like, investigate with an expert of the paranormal, and that really upset me because I'm like, I don't want the article to be labeled like that or titled like that. Like, why can't you just put, like, ghost hunt for charity or something, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, who cares? You know, who cares who I am or who somebody else is? It's not about me or them. It's about the building and saving the building and, you know, what the money's going towards. And so, I mean, it's definitely not for me to get rich off of. Right.
Oh, so, that's my goal. I'm not getting there yet.
I notice a lot of the news articles, they always seem to focus on, you know, like the people more so than the mission, more so than the, you know, the project itself. Yeah. Like they put a picture of me. I had this article come out for Haunted Detroit, and they put a picture of me instead of a picture of the book or my flyer. Like, that should have been front and center. Right. My flyer for my book release party. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. Like, although I will say my new headshot for my new book, it's quite creative, and I think my cover photographer, Amy Shavlak, she did an amazing job. So I'm going to definitely send that to lots of media because it kind of goes with the book, and I think I look pretty good in it if I do say so myself. It's a good picture of me.
It's always the best when I have to approve pictures. I'm like, I gotta see it. Yeah. I'm like, no, that sucks. You gotta redo it.
It was like the best photo of me I've probably ever seen. I have like this wine glass sitting here, this bottle here. Oh, okay. There's flags in the background. I look like I just bought like some bar in Ireland or something. Oh, all right. Like I look like a CEO. All right. I'm trying to project that kind of energy, you know. Right. Manifest good, you know, big dreams, you know, good things for myself. Yeah. That's the goal.
Yeah, I'm getting there maybe eventually. Come on, people, subscribe. Subscribe and just watch, constantly watch. Because I need them 1,000 subscribers. I'm 700 away. Give or take a couple. Right. Come on, 700 people. Let's do this. You do it, I'll give you a shout out. I'm just saying. Let's see here. He did say that he posted the link.
Oh, cool.
And then he was asking if you had a choice to move, would you go to Salem, Mass, or New Orleans?
You know what? I've been thinking about this. So my top 2 favorite cities in the United States are New York and New Orleans. And the thing is, is that I could probably never afford to live in New York City. The rent is like $5,000-$6,000 a month on the low end. And on the high end, it's like $45,000 plus a month. Like, it's crazy. However, if I lived in New York, I could easily go to Salem, which I do love Salem too. Mm-hmm. And I think I could make really good money in New York because New York is a place where people go for their dreams to thrive. And I am a dreamer. However, I do love New Orleans so much. I've always wanted to live there. But with my industry, I don't know if they would pay the same amount of money or a higher wage that I'm getting now.
That's fair.
I'm hoping to get a higher wage if I move.
Right.
Because I'm sure my rent is not going to be what it is now. So I'm really going to end up ultimately going where the money is. And hopefully if I do move to New York, then I can just buy like a vacation apartment or something in New Orleans. You know what I mean? Like
I got you.
I'm hoping I could level up enough to be able to do that, but right now I'm not there. I'd have to pick one or the other, and that's a hard decision.
I don't even have that decision. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh God, that's such a hard one for me, just because I love both of them so much, and they're like, they have so many opportunities, but I love them for different reasons. They're just such different cultures entirely. Like, New York City is so different than New Orleans, but yet I think there's more opportunities at both of those places than there is where I'm currently living. So that's appealing to me.
Right.
I like the lights, the hustle and bustle, the people. Even though I'm shy, I do like people. So yeah. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy going out to, a bar and having a drink and just talking as I go into my state of being buzzed, just
right,
mingling with the people around me.
Yeah, it takes me a very long time to warm up.
Yeah,
and then be like, oh, okay, yeah, we can talk now. Like,
I've gone to a lot of people's hotel room now. I will tell you, nothing happened. Like, nothing bad happened. Like you're probably thinking. I just went to go see, because somehow when I go to New Orleans, I always wind up in people's hotel room because they always have like the presidential suite, and I gotta check it out. Mm-hmm. And I know one day, like, I might not come back from the hotel, but I have this motto that I live by. You only live once, because you really do. So I just want to have fun and not stress too much about, my death.
Right.
I mean, I do try to be safe. Like, I always try to bring at least one person with me when I go. Mm-hmm. But I want to see the presidential suite.
Right. Yeah, like, what am I missing? Like, I want this. This is my goal. No, I get you.
Yeah.
I get you.
But I like to dive in and have the full experience when I go to New York or New Orleans. I want to just be immersed in, what life is like there.
I've been to New York once, like New York City.
Yeah.
It's too much walking. Like, I was fine with it. Yeah. I got exercise. I'm not complaining. But, oh my God.
That's why I want to move
so
there.
Many people.
That's another thing. Another reason I want to move there. Just, I want to walk more. I'd be like half the size I am now if I was moving to a big city, because I'd literally be walking everywhere. They don't drive everywhere in those big cities. It's just convenient to just walk to the store. Exactly.
Constantly traffic.
And that's what I don't like about where I live right now, because, don't get me wrong, it's a nice city, low crime, people are cool, food's okay. But I mean, it's not like New Orleans at all. Right. New Orleans is like gourmet, and ours is like frozen crap, pretty much.
Right.
In reality. But I mean, for like, it's not like the bottom of the barrel. Mm-hmm. I'll say that. But I hate how I gotta drive everywhere. Yeah. I hate having, I hate car insurance. I hate the maintenance of a car. I just want to be able to walk places, use my legs, Yeah. That's what they're intended for, is walking.
Right.
So.
No, yeah. I mean, I didn't, like I said, I didn't mind the walking. Yeah. But it was just like, just trying to get from like point A to B, and point B, I'm like, oh, it's not that far of a walk, and it was. I'm like, I'm tired.
That's why you gotta go on the subway or an Uber or a taxi.
Right. Well, the problem was too is like I wasn't there for like a couple days. Yeah. I was literally doing like a like a vacation on the east. Like I was hitting up. I wanted to hit up Philadelphia. Why I don't know, but I wanted to go to Philadelphia, and then I was hitting up like Boston, in which I went to Salem, and then there was one other place that I don't remember now. But yeah, so in between like getting from I don't know wherever we had stayed like the night before to like getting closer to Philadelphia, like we had like a few hours to spare because we were gonna make it, you know, like 3 hours or something, 4 hours before we could have gotten into the hotel room. So we're like, oh, my friend's like, let's just go to New York or something. Yeah. I was like, okay, so we parked on the New Jersey side. Oh yeah. And then we got like an Uber in, and I mean we were stuck in the Lincoln Tunnel for like 45 minutes. I'm like, wow, this is horrible. Yeah.
That's how it is.
And then we were there, you know, walking around and stuff like that. Like, it was really cool, don't get me wrong, but I was like, yeah, let's go check this out. Let's go check this out. And like, we were like probably not even halfway to the one thing, and I'm like, I'm really tired.
Did you see the fake monks that were trying to get you to
no
give a donation for their crappy like $1 bracelet?
I had some dude try and give me his rap album.
Oh, that happened to me too.
Yeah,
the CD guys.
Yep, and I was like, no, I'm good. He's like, no. He's like, here, and he like signed it something, you know, like
never tell them your name,
and
because they will sign it and then make you pay for it.
Oh, I didn't
do that. Though.
And I did, and I was like, okay, yeah, you know, and he's like, okay, he's like, yeah, $20, and I was like, oh yeah, no.
Yeah, those people are scary. Like they're super aggressive. But I was in Chinatown and I had this one woman, she ran up to me with like this sheet of all these handbags, like these like knockoff name brand handbags, and just immediately beeline for me. And I'm thinking, like, you're targeting me just because I'm a woman? Like, I don't even like freaking bags that much. Like, you're trying to sell me your cheap, stupid bags.
Right.
I had a backpack on. I don't want your bags.
Right. Yeah. Yep. He's just like $20. I'm like, no, I'm good. I didn't even want it to begin with, but I was like, I'll just take it if it shuts him up, you know. And yeah, when he's like, yeah, $20, I'm like, I'm all right. And I just like started walking away. He's like, oh, come on. And I'm like, nope, I'm good. I'm like, you kind of just wasted my name on something, so that's on you.
No, just find somebody else with your name.
Right. It's like, well, I'm like, there's plenty of Jeffs out there. I'm sure you'll find one here in a minute.
Terrible.
Yeah, but I don't even know. But yeah, no, I couldn't live there. I couldn't do it. There's just too many people. Too many.
I like the people. That more people means more good restaurants, more things to do.
True. I
mean, there's like in New York City, like in really New Orleans too, you can find literally every kind of restaurant you can ever dream of or think of.
Oh, I believe it.
Like Ethiopian, Italian, Cajun, you know, Irish. I mean, literally everything.
Yeah, it's kind of like that in LA too. Not all close knit, but you know they're there.
Right.
Anyway, before I forget to read this one too, because you know me.
Yeah.
My friend Ron, he said that he actually got a massage from you at one of the conventions up north.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming maybe the Mid-Michigan Paracon, Ron? Maybe? Or did you go to the...
Could have been either one, yeah.
The one in Sioux? Sioux City? Yeah. Were you there? I didn't get to go to that one. It's too expensive.
I make pretty good money doing massages at those cons, so I try to go because it's much needed money.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Nope, I wasn't.
Especially in this economy. I mean, my God, people.
Right?
I can't afford to be alive right now.
I know. Trust
me.
Yeah, the Sioux. Okay. I thought that's the one, but...
Well, hopefully you liked your massage.
You can't not like a massage, hopefully.
Yeah. There's people that say they don't like massages. I think they're crazy.
I had one. It felt really, really good. And then I woke up the next morning and I could barely move. I'm like, oh my God.
That's the best part.
I know, but I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
And so I had to go to, because at the station I worked at, every once in a while, they would do something for the employees. So one year they brought in a person to do like I think it was like a 15-minute massage. So I was like, okay, cool. And she's like, let me know if I'm pressing too hard. And I was like, okay. And, you know, she was working, and I'm like, you can press a little harder, you know, if you want.
Yeah. And
it's like, okay, you know, I didn't want to go, you know, too hard. I didn't want you to be like, ouch. And I'm like, keep going. I'm like, I'll work through it if it were to come. And, like, I felt good. And then I woke up the next morning, and I'm like, oh, my God. And I got to work, and, like, it was so hard to move.
Yeah.
And, like, my boss was like, how are you that sore? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I didn't do it to my muscles. And like everybody else seemed to be okay, but then our HR lady, she was saying something, or it must have gotten wrong. Like, I was super sore, you know, too. And she comes up, she's like, "You're really sore too." I was like, "Yeah." She's like, I can barely move. I'm like, "Me too." I'm like, I don't know what she did, but yeah, I want to die a little bit right now. Like, I can barely like function because it was like I got to move my arm to edit, and I'm like, oh, this kind of hurts.
Yeah, my coworker gave me a massage, and I asked for like the deepest tissue imaginable, and I'm pretty sure like that night I laid in bed and thought my back was like black and blue, but I was just kind of loving it.
I know, I looked for some bruising just randomly, and I'm like, well, all right.
A little bit of suffering makes you grow as a person.
Right? I mean, I'll take a little bit, but man, that was torture. It was like, it was my arms, my shoulders, you know, my back, you know, my lower back. I just wanted to be like, oh my God. If I hadn't been, I'm sure I was. I always seemed to save up like my vacation and personal time as much as I could until the end of the year. Because then I would take off like the week of Thanksgiving and then like the first week of like the last half of November and the first week of December, just because. And because a lot of it would drive the sales people nuts. Because they'd be want me to like, you know, like, I need Jeff to work on this. And he's like, he's gone. When is he going to be back? Not until such and such. It would drive them insane. And sometimes a lot of them up until that point were getting on my nerves. And I'm like, suck it.
I need to be more like you because I got to take a vacation every 2 months. I'm not kidding. Or more if possible, you know? My
whole...
I thrive on taking trips.
Like almost 2 years has been like a vacation to an extent.
Yeah.
But, no, the last couple of years I was out in LA visiting my friend. This year I wanted to go, but I don't have money this year.
Hey, I don't either, but I'm going.
You know, I would have like maybe credit carded it or something, but that's super high right now, so I need to pay that off.
I feel your pain.
So that's not happening because I was talking to him the other day. He's like, "Well, you can always come out here." I'm like, "Listen, you know I don't have money. Like, my credit card was paid off to an extent. Like, I had to throw some stuff, but I'm like, then I really had to start using it, and it's back up there, and I have no money right now.
It's like really hard not to have a credit card in this kind of economy because, like, this whole getting paid every 2 weeks doesn't work out for me. Sometimes I need that. My groceries don't last 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to see my brother, and he does live in LA, and I haven't seen him in probably a year, so I am going. It might even be over a year, honestly. I haven't seen my brother in such a long time. I can't remember the last time I've seen him. So I am going to LA. I don't know how I'm going to, you know,
enjoy the warmth.
Really afford it, but I am hoping that my schedule will be full of massages at the chiropractor that I work for, and that everything will work out because the universe will take care of me. That's my hope.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
or people will just buy a lot of books. Royalty checks are a thing.
Do it. You're good. I write.
And then I can see my brother and enjoy time with him instead of just eating appetizers the whole time.
There you go. Yeah, they're good. They're good books. I like them. I've actually like the series, like was it Haunted America? Yeah, I actually started looking up a bunch on Amazon, and I'm like, eventually I've got all these. I'm like, oh, that would be cool, you know, like certain places I've heard of, and some I haven't, and I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, no, I learned a lot from, especially Bay City, because like I said, I didn't really know about Bay City. Detroit, I kind of did. and then start talking about those here in a second. But oh god damn it, Mark from the you know who I'm talking about now. I love it. He wanted to know if writing energizes you or exhausts you. And I'm sure it's like both at times.
When the book comes out and I get to open it up for the first time and see the cover, I almost like have this moment where I want to burst into tears, like tears of joy, because it's like I gave birth. Because like it is writing a book, at least in this capacity, is the most grueling process. People have no idea what goes into it. I was telling him I work not only on the inside of the book, writing the book, I am doing research. I mean, heavy research, going to each location, working with all of the places that, that I'm writing about, getting consent from each person, making sure everybody's happy with their chapter. And if they're not happy, then I will go back and rewrite parts. I am responsible for getting, cover photos that I think are aesthetically pleasing. I am responsible for writing the back cover. I'm responsible for writing my bio. I'm responsible for getting a headshot of myself. Pretty much the entire book is on my shoulders. And with this last one, I have to do 15 chapters in 4 months. And it's like...
It's too much.
I am 2.5 chapters from being done. And I am just ready to be done. Like, it's at the point where I am so exhausted, so drained. I have no social life whatsoever. And my friends get mad at me because I can't go out with them and do stuff. But nobody understands what goes into this. Even captioning the pictures in this book literally can take like 2 days. And that's like so much work. Nobody even knows, because they think, oh, well, you just insert the pictures into the book with their little number, and then you got to write out the captions. Writing out the captions and then inserting them into the text takes literally days. Or, I mean, I guess it could take half a day, if you did it nonstop or something. But it's a lot of work.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
And I mean, I just can't express to anybody just how grueling it is. That's not to say, like, if you're thinking about writing a book, definitely do it. Like, just do it once and see if you like it. I think writing 3 was excessive for me.
Well, especially all, like, as fast as you said you've been doing it.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I try to find, like, different synonyms for words, but I mean, there's only so many ways you can say paranormal or ghost or, you know what I mean? It's about the paranormal, so you're going to find it in there probably like 150 times. There's nothing I can do about it.
Right.
But yeah, it's just, it's a very exhausting process, and I guess I enjoy the afterward, like when the book comes out. Like, I enjoy doing events for the book. I enjoy mingling with people, having the release parties. I like to, I do ghost tours in Bay City, which kind of started up because of the book. So I enjoy doing those. But the actual, like, I guess the jobs that I get afterwards are very much worth it. But writing the book itself is like the most cognitively, more mentally challenging thing, because it's just grueling, and there's no way to escape it. And it's right. So daunting when you are, even if you're like at 15,000 words and you're like, oh my God, I have to get to 32,000, which it's not a lot, but
really,
when you have such strict deadlines, and then they're sending you questionnaires and they're like, fill these out, tell us how you want things. And it's like, they never had those questionnaires before, so they just keep tacking on like these unnecessary things. And I'm drained.
So how did you, get involved with the Haunted America series? Like, how did that come about?
That's a good question. I was in massage school, actually, because I have 2 degrees and a certificate and 2 degrees at the time. Unfortunately, when I graduated school, so my degrees and my certificates in American Sign Language.
Mm-hmm.
So once I got out of school, they changed a lot of the laws for American Sign Language, so it became even harder to get licensed. And out of my class of like 68 people, 1 person was able to achieve the score that you needed to become an interpreter. Now, me, it was never an easy thing for me. I struggled a lot with interpreting. I somehow got honor cords when I graduated. Don't know how that happened. But nonetheless, I was working literally every low-wage job you can think of with having degrees, and I felt like I need to make a career change because I'm super unhappy. I shouldn't be 29 years old and making these wages. Like, that's how I felt, like I didn't have any quality of life. I couldn't even take a trip. I couldn't go anywhere because I didn't have any money. I couldn't even buy a $5 pizza.
Don't get older.
Yeah. But, I said, one day I woke up and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to change my life a little bit. So I went and enrolled in massage therapy school. And that was a good decision. I mean, that was like the best thing I could have ever done for myself. Obviously made enough money in my job to be able to take 3 of us to Europe and the UK for the entire month of July.
I saw that. I was so jealous.
Yeah, so I mean, that was good because finally I could travel a little bit. But while I was in massage school, it was like I was halfway through massage school, so I'm getting into some really intense anatomy stuff. And when I say, like, when you're in massage school, you got to pretty much know everything that there is to know about the human body. It's not easy at all. It's very, very hard. And I got this email that said, hey, we've been following your paranormal career for the last however many years. I think it was 10 at the time. And we would like you to write a book for Haunted America series. Now, I had always dreamed about working in the paranormal, but I did it more so as a hobby. I would do presentations through the library system. There was always an article about me. I was always trying to save history or, help raise money for this or that, that kind of thing. And so I just was kind of looking it over and thought, sure, why not?
Right.
So, then, fast forward a little bit, I graduated school, was working for a dog groomer, lost my job due to COVID. I had no job for COVID. During the COVID shutdown for like 4 or 5 months. And in that 4 and 5 months, I studied really hard and I wrote a lot. And in September of 2020, I released my first book, came out and in stores all over the world. And then I became a licensed massage therapist the week after that. So I would say my life changed, but I'm trying to, still trying to be more successful.
That's how you gotta do it too. I gotta do it. No, I was just curious because you're talking deadlines and stuff, and whereas I was kind of telling you a little bit, like I'm writing one. I've kind of dabbled in it. Writing one about the numerous experiences in my house, and it's like I couldn't do a deadline. I'm like, look, I'll get it done when I can.
It's high stress because they told me the end of December we want to see your book, so that cuts me down to like 2 months to get 15 chapters done instead of 4.
Oh, okay. You
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm supposed to turn it in like February, but they want to see it in like December.
Okay.
So it's like, Jesus, I don't have any time to just chill out.
Right.
And so, no offense to any of my friends, but I don't have time to hang out right now. I got to finish these 2.5 chapters, and then my life will continue after that book comes out.
Or just be like, yeah, I can go to the bar, but I'm going to be on my laptop the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, it's very... I have a hard time concentrating when I have a lot of different things going on.
Mm-hmm.
And, I enjoy, like, going over to my mom's house, or my mom and dad's, like, townhouse, because I can sit with my mother and, we kind of brainstorm, and I'll read her, things that I've written down, and she'll tell me if she likes it, if it needs to be changed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I need somebody to, like, bounce ideas off of, and she's a big avid reader. So I think that really helps, and I find that I do a little better when she's kind of there as, like, my support net, I guess.
Right.
But, oh my God, I don't know what I would do without her, that's for sure.
Oh, but yeah, especially in that capacity, for sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because tomorrow, oh my God, tomorrow's Monday. So I was going to say on Monday, which is tomorrow, I'm going to go try to get 2 chapters done.
You said the last 2?
Yeah, then I got 2.5 to go.
Oh, 2.5 to go, okay.
So, yeah.
Well, you can do it.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully it's not like the beginning of December. They're like,
Yeah, I don't think it'll be the beginning, but
Okay.
I'm trying to get it done before I go to California because I want to have fun.
Right.
I don't want to be thinking about that the whole time.
Right. No, I get
And
you.
I know how I am. I have never been a procrastinator. In fact, I got these 2 books done in 5 months each, which was ahead of my deadline by, like, I think 3 or 4 months.
See, you showed them like that gung ho attitude.
I
And
know.
now they expect more. You don't do that.
I know.
You don't do it.
That's my OCD, though. I just need to be done, like, a couple months ahead of schedule. That way, if there's anything that so that way I can go back and read the whole book and change anything if need be. I don't like cutting my deadlines too close. I'm just like a workaholic.
I used to be. It hasn't been like that for a couple of years. It's my downfall now.
I like it because, like I said, if I'm not doing something productive, like, I feel like I'm wasting my time. And I hate
get
that
you.
I sometimes feel that way, but that's how I feel.
Right.
I do think it's more beneficial, though, like, if you have goals and dreams, like, to be that way, it's gonna maybe work out better. Hopefully.
Right. No, I get you.
I'm hoping.
And that's where I was until, basement remodeling happened, and I just had not gotten back into it yet.
Yeah.
But that's my downfall. So I'm getting there. I'm trying to anyways. So your books, what made you I'm assuming you came up with the topics, right? The
Yep.
on America, they'd be like, hey, we want you to write about Bay City or Detroit. So you decided I'm writing about Bay City.
Well, for the first one, yeah, because
Okay.
that's my hometown.
Yeah.
And they kind of, they titled the books. I don't really
Oh,
have much
okay.
say. We got into a couple.
They're like, this is the title, and we're like, well, I guess I'm writing about that now.
Well, I got into a little argument with them about the third title, the third book,
Oh, okay.
because they were trying to. I wanted to have a more creative name, and they didn't like that. So they pretty much titled the book, but I pretty much tell them what I want to write about.
Okay.
And the reason that I did Detroit after I did Bay City, because a lot of people were like, well, you could, Bay City's part of the Tri-Cities, so Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. But for me, I was like, no, I had one of my very first profound paranormal occurrences at historic Fort Wayne in Detroit. And I really thought that after I had that experience and talked to other people, I heard a lot of really cool ghost stories and thought Detroit is really one of the most haunted cities. Some of the history there is just incredible, beautiful structures, et cetera, et cetera. So I was like, I want to write a book about Detroit because I love Detroit. My parents have taken me there since I was a child. We would always go to Greektown, but Greektown's kind of unfortunately dying out a little bit. COVID killed a lot of things. So it's
Yeah.
not really what it used to be. It's kind of getting more run down, unfortunately. But Detroit itself is coming back. I love Detroit, like I said. It's a really nice city. There's a lot that it can offer to people. And I wanted to show that aspect of Detroit, that Detroit is a really great city. It's very haunted. It's worth checking out. It's worth visiting. And I just wanted to, share my love of Detroit the way, my parents they love it too. So they kind of taught me how to love it, and I wanted to share my love with other people.
Now, what made you decide to pick like the places in the book? Because you go, you talk about like Old Six, and then you talk about like Erebus, and it's like many different places. They all different forms of whatever. Like one's precinct, an old police station, obviously. One's like a haunted attraction,
Yep.
and so on. So was it like when you did like research and stuff, like did you just like look up places in Detroit, or is it like locations you'd kind of heard of, and then you dug up some info and you're like, oh, that actually is really cool? Or were you there at a lot of them before you, or so it made it easy to pick and choose, I should say?
I guess kind of a combination of all three. Definitely went to some of the places in the book, looked up articles, kind of knew some stories that my friends had told me about different places. And then, honestly, with my third book, I literally wrote so my book's about like haunted bars. And so I literally wrote like every haunted bar that I could, every bar that I could find in the state. And whoever said, yeah, we have activity, or, something like that, then I was like, okay, then that's a good candidate for the book. So I do try to reach out to places and just see, if they're, if they want to be featured in the book. And there are people that do, I guess, well-known haunted places that do want to be featured, and other well-known haunted places that do not. So it's really a gamble. But with these couple books here, with Detroit and Haunted Bay City, I think there only needs to be maybe like 10 locations or something like that. Whereas with, this new book, there's obviously a lot more locations that I have to look at. And I am so thankful I got 15. I don't know what I would have done.
So does the book, I'm over it, I can't think today. does the production house for the book, for the series, like, do they tell you like how many like locations or something you have to have, or you're like, you have like say 15 written down, but you're like, I really don't want to focus on say the top 10 or something like that, even though you have to have say like a word, hit a specific word count?
As long as you stay within the word count, you can go over in chapters, but you really can't go under.
Okay.
With the Haunted Bars book, I proposed 10 chapters, and they were like, we want 15 or 20. I said, I can definitely do 15, but inside I was screaming.
I didn't like, I can do 12.
But
let's negotiate.
But I'm like, 20? I don't think, I'm glad I didn't do 20, because there's just no, finding 20 different bars that are willing to sit down with you and talk to you. I was stretching it at 15.
Oh, I can imagine.
And with every place, I talked to the staff, the owners, sat down with them, toured the place, or if I didn't tour the place, got some kind of a virtual tour in some capacity, you know what I mean? So there was a lot involved there. And so, it was 15. I just said 15 is a okay number. It's a manageable number for the most part. But 20, absolutely not. And I'm not, like, Roxanne Rhodes, if you're out there, girl, you and Joe Shipani, They are amazing. Somehow, some way, they get like a gazillion different places into their books.
Okay.
Definitely check them out. Haunted Flint is one of them.
I read.
And then,
I read that one.
What's the other one?
Something about
Ghosts and Legends of Genesee and Lapeer Counties. That's another one. They're so good. They pack in like so much info, so many locations in the book. But for me, it's so hard to do that. Like, I don't know why. I think it's just because, like, and I'm not saying that they don't get consent. They probably do. But for me, I'm, like, big on consent. Like, I'm just so afraid that somebody's going to get mad at me if I don't, like, share the chapter with them first. So, so I'm, like, just militant. Like, I'm just speaking about myself, like, not what anybody else is doing. But me, just personally, I'm so militant about making sure everybody's just cool with their chapters. And so that's why... I have to try to stay within a manageable range for myself.
Yeah, see,
because I tend to be like a perfectionist at times, and
like thanks for letting me come out. You can read it when a book comes out.
Yeah, well, I want.
I understand where you're coming from, but me, I would just be like. No, like it's bad enough.
Yeah.
Like TV commercials when I had to deal with that all the time and sending out like review upon review upon review.
Yes.
Like I get it. They need to approve it, but it's just like I need you to change this. I need you to change that, and I'd be like, no, this is how the chapter is.
But that's the thing. Like people have done that, and there's been times I've literally had to almost, not totally rewrite a chapter, but like take out and remove and change so many things that it was pretty much like that. But the thing is, at the end of the day, is I want people to be happy about their chapter. I want people to be proud. I want them to say, like, if we ever open a store in our business, or if we're selling t-shirts, we're going to sell the book along with it. I want people to be proud of I guess what they've done in their lives and their legacies and all that. So this is my way to kind of honor people and what they've done in their life through my books. But yes, it can, at times, I'm not going to lie to you, I have definitely cried or stressed or tore my hair out over, changes people have wanted me to make, especially when they were a lot of changes. But, sometimes too, people write me back and they'll say, we absolutely love our chapter and can't wait for the book to come out. And that is an amazing thing.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure.
So it's a big sigh of relief.
Yeah. No, I'm not a fan of like reviews. I'm like, no. That's how I'm putting it.
Yeah.
Like, commercials and stuff different,
yeah.
obviously, but like that, but no.
I'm in the home stretch of like 2.5 more chapters to go, like I said, so... if anybody wants anything modified ever so slightly, it won't be too much of an issue for me. I'll just be happy it's over.
Right.
At this point, that's where I'm at.
They're like, I need you to rewrite this. No.
At this point, it's how it is.
You get 2 changes.
Yeah.
You get 2 changes. That's what you're getting.
Well, I used to just be like, please let me know what needs to be changed. But now I've changed the wording a little bit. I'm like, please let me know of any minor changes you want made.
Yeah.
If it's something huge, like, if I'm killing off somebody that shouldn't, that's not dead, then I need to know.
Right, for sure.
But I don't have the time to rewrite whole chapters, so at this point, if you don't like a sentence or something, I'll take it out or reword it. But,
Yeah, because I know, like, some chapters, they're not as long as other ones.
Yes.
And I'd be like, the longer ones, I'd be like, no, you can change, like,
yes,
the sentence, or you can change the punctuation. That's all you get.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure those longer chapters was a little bit more grueling because, a little bit more wordy, obviously, and trying to get, like, the info in like, a certain order, from...
I'll be honest
not
with
from
you.
Jumping around type of thing.
I'll tell you a little secret.
All right.
The shorter chapters are the worst ones.
Really?
They are.
Oh
the long ones, that's because I had adequate information from the individual. I had enough ghost story content from the individual. Mm-hmm. The shorter chapters, those were the ones I was like, you gave me one sentence. And I don't like, I don't like to take creative liberties where I'm fabricating stuff. So I'm like, okay, you gave me one sentence, and now I have to take this one sentence and somehow turn it into a, a story.
Right.
And so that's when where the other research comes in, because, you give me that one sentence. That one sentence could lead me to maybe a newspapers.com article.
Right.
Where I'm going to, uncover a big historical discovery or something.
Right.
And sometimes even present day articles that I come across are very helpful, or I'll look up a lot of obituaries. I just do anything I can. And, if it's shorter, that means I really struggled. And the shorter it is, if it's super short, that means I really struggled with it.
I can understand that in that aspect then, yeah. Me, I'm thinking a lot of information, what is either repetitive or it's like, it's not needed. Like, you can live without that and you're still going to, know what's happening. You're going to get the gist of, whatever. Yeah. So that's where my head, but yeah, I can see like one sentence, like, oh God. Okay, I'd just be like, hey guys, this is the only thing they gave me and I couldn't find anything else out. So here you go. That's the chapter.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like, it's tough too, because, this is, for those of you who don't know, this is a history press book. And, sometimes I'll get reviews on Amazon and people will leave me not nice reviews because, there's too much history in the book. Ma'am or sir, you bought a history press book.
Right, yeah.
So what do you expect? I mean, I have to put a backstory in where the ghost's coming from.
Right. Yeah, like I can't just be like, it's haunted. And,
it's haunted.
There's like these asshole ghosts and people have said, this and this has happened. Like, why? Like, I mean.
Yeah, you need the why.
Okay, well, who is it or who could it be?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't not have that.
But there are places that, sometimes people have really good ghost stories, but then you'll just find like one article of history or this just happened recently with a chapter I wrote, and it was like one single paragraph of history. And
that you found?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I have to turn that into, 1.5 to 2 pages.
Okay.
And that's a lot. That's like, so you're going in then and you're like, okay, I guess I'm going to tell you a little bit maybe about the history of the city or the town or the village or wherever the hell it is. Maybe I'll tell you a little bit of the backstory on one of the architects or, you just have to come up with some kind of content.
Like filler stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I can understand that. Because, like I said, like I was telling you before, like this one place I went and I'm like, I had to dig and dig and dig and dig. And then there was this other place, like I couldn't find anything except for like these like 2 possible urban legends. And I was like, and I dug as much as I could and I couldn't find jack shit. And I reached out to their local library and I didn't tell them why I needed it, but I was just like, is there, any actual history besides like these, 2 urban legends that seem to be like the whole thing that I'm finding online? Like, is there any like backstory to this? Like, how to get its name, this and that. And I mean, the lady, I'm like, I can come in, and scrounge for if you have like a general idea of where it might be in there, whatever, but I mean, she went through and she did it for me. She found whatever she could and she emailed it and I was like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah, well, I had something like that happen where I could not find any historical articles, so except one, and when I say one, it was like super short and super small. It was next to nothing. So then I was like, okay, well, I can't write a chapter out of this because it's just not enough information. So I'm like, I know what I'm going to do. I got all this time. I got like a 4-day or I don't know how many day, 6-day holiday weekend, whatever it was. I don't even know. But I was like, I'm going to write to this library. And I just know in 2 days, I'm going to have so much info, I'm not going to know what to do with. Mm-hmm. I kid you not. They sent me back one thing they found, and it was so blurry It was so, like, shitty quality. I was like, I can't even read this. I couldn't read that if I had 20/20 vision. I couldn't read it if it was magnified, 500 times. Like, I literally could not read it at all.
That sucks. Nope.
So I'm like, okay, plan B, which is just writing everybody else, writing every other library in the surrounding area, hoping somebody has something.
Yep. And I mean, yours seemed kind of quick. Mine, it was like after like a week.
Yeah.
Like, well, all right. Well, clearly they either saw through me or there's literally nothing there.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, no big deal. I'm like, well, because at the beginning of my videos, I was trying to, at least now I've been doing, since I had to do the history on the one, I try and do like a segue, like, okay, like I was investigating here and like some backstory and blah blah blah, and in that one I'm like, well, I guess I'm not really gonna do that. I can talk about like the two urban legends, I guess, in a sense, and go from like leading into the video, and as I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna do that, do some voiceover stuff, and next thing I know, I think it was the next day that I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. I started writing out my stuff, and then she'd email me back, and she just had, like, a bunch of info for me, and I'm like, it's like they read my mind.
Well, I think, I don't know if I said this yet on the podcast. I know I was talking with you about it beforehand, but writing about bars was the most challenging thing I could ever put myself through, just because, like, there's not that much documented. If you were to go to just any dive bar in your city, your town, your village, whatever, there is like, I mean, you wouldn't know crap about the place. Because it probably changed hands 8 million times.
Right.
And unless there was something significant like a fire or, I don't know, some kind of major event, like, it's not really going to be in the news for anything. So a lot of the stories and history of a lot of these bars are not documented, at least not until my book will come out, and then they will, for the first time ever, the information about these places will be published, which is cool, because I feel like I'm kind of, I try to do that with these two books as well, where I try to put in more obscure history, things people may have never heard about, but that are true, and then I put them out, and it's kind of like being, I guess, a little bit innovative in a way, but with the bars, it's just like the most challenging topic, because if you don't talk to the owners, I don't see how you could even write the book. Right. I mean, you would have nothing.
Info, yeah, I can understand that for sure.
Yeah, because there's just nothing. They don't, unless they're like a place like the Whitney, which is a very well documented bar, very well documented historic site. You're not gonna get anything.
No, where is that one again?
Detroit.
Okay.
It's the cover of the Detroit.
Like I said, my short-term memory is not great.
It's all right.
It's not great.
It's a beautiful building, beautiful bar. Check out the Whitney. Keep up to date with the events that they have going on at the Whitney, because they do great paranormal events all throughout the year.
Okay, sorry, I just had to linger.
And it's just even walking in there.
No, okay.
Just go in there. If you ever want to see the architecture, just walk in sometime when they're open to the public. You can use the bathroom. It's very nice.
Fancy bathroom, huh?
Yeah. I mean, compared to the rest of the house, the bathroom is not that great. But
okay.
But yeah, it's amazing.
Now, what the whole, I'm gonna mispronounce it, the Nain
Rouge?
Yeah. What got you to like put that as like the intro-ish into a sense into like the whole Detroit thing?
Good question. The Nain Rouge is Detroit's oldest legend. It is this legend that because the European settler Antoine de la Motte Cadillac, which is not his birth name,
Oh, it's still a mouthful.
Yeah, it's a mouthful. But he basically was just this very greedy person who tried to make himself seem more prestigious than he was and more prominent in society. So he kind of gave himself this name where he sounded kind of like a royal to get farther in life. He was an asshole, but he was genius. At first he was, because it was working for him at first. However, it is said that he offended the Nain Rouge. When he was walking, he saw this odd red figure that kind of was like a small man, but also had animalistic characteristics. And he struck this figure with his cane, and thus his life continued on the path to misfortune and, just a bad, like a sad demise, I guess.
Yeah.
So his life just kind of spiraled downward from that, and now every time when people see the Nain Rouge, he's supposed to be the harbinger of doom. He's supposed to kind of predict misfortune. So I guess with that being said, people still see the Nain Rouge to this day. It is the oldest legend of Detroit, but the whole idea of Detroit being settled, by the Europeans, it was pretty much settled on this legend. So that's I guess the whole story behind it.
So, personal thoughts, because I can get behind a lot of things.
Yes.
I can be like, okay, I can be, skeptical, but I might be like, all right, you can maybe sway me one way or the other, there's a lot of things like I'm just like, nope, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's where I fall on this. Like,
okay.
I don't know what your personal thoughts are on it. But I just feel like, okay, maybe there was something he saw, like this guy saw like back in the day. But nowadays, I feel like, and I don't know the person, and like what their mindset is and stuff like that.
Right.
But I think because this is like a known thing that they're just like interpreting it, they could be like high off something and be like, oh my God.
It could be.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Oh my God, like I gotta be careful, and I guess mostly because it's a story, I guess, in a sense. It's not like there's like physical, and I'm not saying like there's like physical actual proof of like ghosts, spirits. I mean, you can get EVPs, and I mean, you can even show that like you were the only one in this room. You can take pictures, and I mean, you can be like, oh, people can be like, oh, I see that, and like even me at times, I'm just like, I believe you in a sense, but I don't see this. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Like I can see like a hint of maybe something, but I don't see what could be like a person, and their shoulders, like peeking out, past the door or something. You know what I mean? Like I believe there might be something there, but that, like, there's not many things, but there's that I'm just like, I don't know. Because to me, it's more like a religion based, being like religious. Like, I'm not religious. I don't believe in the devil. I don't believe in, a God or anything like that.
Right.
So unless somebody had like actual physical proof, like they're like, I took a selfie with the devil, or something like that. I'm like, I'm not gonna believe you, and it'd have to be somebody not dressed up like the devil.
I guess I'm kind of like, in some aspects, like I'm not religious really either at all. But this is kind of what I always say, because, like, and I totally get where you're coming from. And the beautiful part about my books is that they're written in such a way that you can kind of decide for yourself if you believe it or not. By all means, like, if you don't believe anything, it doesn't hurt me at all. Like, I literally don't care, because, and I'm not saying that to be mean, but I guess my point is, like, the paranormal in general is all a mystery. It's not, it's a pseudoscience, right? So it's not really something that is proven in any capacity, I guess. People try, but there's just so many questions. You know what I mean? Like they are showing that, billions of people around the world are having paranormal encounters.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some merit there, right? But we don't know why. And I guess the only thing that I can say is like when somebody laughs about what it is that I do, or what I write paranormal books, or I investigate the paranormal. A lot of people sometimes will laugh about that, and my whole thing is like, okay, I just feel like there's just a lot of mysteries in the world like we don't understand. And one of them is just being here on this planet. Like, we are literally, like, floating on a rock.
Right.
Like, why the hell are we floating on a rock?
Right, yep.
Like, it's, and people can say, oh, to have kids. Well, why are we what's the point of having kids, honestly? Like, we're gonna die. Like, we don't live that long. You know what I mean? Or, like, what about, like, these bugs that they reproduce, and I'm going off into a rabbit hole here.
No, but like, I get you.
But like, you got these bugs, they like maybe live for a day and they're reproducing, and then they die, their babies die in a day. It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And it's just like, that's pretty much like how, that's just like life in general. So life in general is quite paranormal, quite weird, quite strange, and there's just so many things I feel like that have been not discovered yet or understood yet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So, do I think maybe it could have been based on religion? Yeah, probably. It could have been. But could there also be this creature? Well, if there could possibly be a Bigfoot or a Nessie.
I believe in Bigfoot.
Yeah, if there could
but
be
a Loch Ness monster. I don't know.
There could be a little small.
I just can't get behind that one. I don't know why.
What if he lives underground?
You know what? He can come and say hi to me, and then I will believe it.
I don't want that thing in my house.
Well, I didn't say in my house. I don't want it in my house. But I'm just saying, like I believe in Bigfoot and Loch Ness.
You said he could come say hi to you.
I didn't say in my house, though. He can ring my doorbell, and I'll talk to him through my Ring doorbell.
Man.
But he ain't coming in.
I don't know what I would do if I saw something like that on a Ring doorbell. I think I would just have to burn that thing. That's why I don't have that kind of thing, because it freaks me out. Like, ugh. Those Ring doorbell videos freak me out. But yeah, so, I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know.
Right.
It was in a Detroit Free Press article, which kind of also gives it a little bit of merit. Like a lady that was cleaning her house saw this figure that resembled the Nain Rouge. Maybe she read the book and, her mind was a little overactive, or maybe she actually did see that. That's the beautiful part. I don't know, but at the end of the day, does it provide a great, entertaining story for the readers? I think so.
It's story-based, yes. But then, besides your book, I don't know if I watched something or if I was looking something up and I came across it, but, the whole parade, celebration thing that's in Detroit, which I'd never heard of a thing until maybe last year or something, when I was actually, looking something up and I came across that. I'm like, what the hell is this? I feel that them doing that every year or something like that, it's just an urban legend, it just it keeps it going, and so it's always in somebody's head, if say they didn't do it for a couple of years, or say they this next year they're like, we're not doing it, how many people are gonna think think about it, they might be like, oh, they're not having it this year, but then say that time of year when they would have had it, are you really going to notice that they're not having it? Is that whole idea going to be in your head still, or is it going to be so far gone because you're actually just, living your life, doing what you have to do? Is that, is that urban legend? I consider urban legend. Yeah. Is it, just that, and then it's not spreading anymore to an extent there, you're actually just forgetting about it. You know what I mean?
I do think to some degree that that this legend about the Nain Rouge is symbolic for Detroit being very resilient, because Detroit has had a lot of misfortune. Just, I mean, so many bad things, but yet the city always kind of comes back. The people are, they're always fighting for their businesses, their homes, it's really inspirational in a way. I know, like, some average person won't be reading the Nain Rouge story being like, wow, this is really inspirational. But for me, I'm kind of deep sometimes. And, like, for me, I'm like, it makes me tear up a little bit in some aspects, because I'm like, these people, they get hit with all this adversity and shit, essentially, and people are mudflinging at them and talking shit about the city of Detroit, calling it a dump, calling it this and that, and it's really, there's good and bad parts of every city. I don't feel like it's any worse than any other big city. I mean, I feel like there's parts of Detroit that are absolutely gorgeous and parts that are run down, but, I think that the people are doing the best that they can do. The city is doing, I think, the best that it can do at this point in time to try to come back to what it was, back when the motor industry was up and running.
Right.
And so I think it's just kind of symbolic of that, like, no matter what happens to us, we're still gonna be here. We're gonna fight all these things and just prove that we're, good enough and valid enough. So that's kind of what I get out of the story. But
and I get you there.
But I just don't know. Like, I don't know. Could it be a real thing? Maybe.
Right. Well,
I don't know.
It's just like, I mean, it's just, like an urban legend. Like, I mean, somebody could be like, one day, like, all right, what's been claimed as a Bigfoot is literally nothing. Or they completely drain, like, Loch Ness, and they're like, there's no monster in here. Like, we took all the water out.
Yeah.
There's no monster in here. You'd be like, well, fuck you guys. But
but the thing is like, going back to that just real quick, because of course there I go thinking deeply again. But if you, like, drain it and there's no Loch Ness monster, like, how long are we expecting these Loch Ness monsters to live?
Well, right. But, I mean, if somebody was going so extreme to be like, I'm proving this once and for all.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, we're draining this. And they have, like, tanker trucks just to take all the water.
Yeah.
And just, like put it back or something when they're done. But be like, there is no, 200-foot, water monster in here. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be like, well, you guys suck. And I guess, like, I could see how people would say that about, this too. But I don't know. Just because when I hear it, I just think, like, a little, like, and not to be offensive or anything, but, like, a little, like, dwarf, version of, like, the devil, which I don't believe in.
Yeah.
So that's where, it's probably where I'm like, well, okay, red, animal feet, what was it, like horns or something, did I read? Or no? Maybe I'm thinking of something else too.
It does have horns, yeah.
And so I'm just thinking, like, a little dwarf, like, little like, devil incarnate type of thing, I'm like, no, because all that other stuff, I'm like, no. I'm like, you can never prove that there's a heaven or a hell. Like, there's just no way to prove it, and I don't believe that's a thing, anyways. Because clearly, I mean, in my opinion, I mean, if there was, I have a hard time feeling, unless you were a complete asshole in life and you want to make somebody's life miserable after you're dead, that all those people would, be in one place or the other, and there wouldn't be, like, that spirit form in a sense.
This is very controversial, but if you, like, read the Bible or whatever, or the 10 Commandments, don't judge, blah blah blah, don't be gluttonous. I mean, come on, every American, almost everybody in the world has. It says, like, the Bible says, like, don't eat shellfish or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Right.
I eat seafood all the time. Guess I'm going to hell for that,
Right.
Or, like, don't have premarital sex. Like, I don't know anybody who hasn't.
Right, exactly, yeah.
So it's like, come on. How can you just sit there and throw stones at people? I think religion, this is my take. Nobody kill me if you're religious, whatever, but this is just my take. So I think religion was like started as a way to control the population back in, whenever the hell the book was written.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we have now in our society kind of, we're aware now that we don't need to follow this guidebook basically to be decent people.
Right.
If you steal money from somebody who is poor, or take advantage of people, or, do these deviant things just to be a jerk, then you're just probably a really rotten person.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, if you are gorging yourself on sweets, why the hell should I care? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's your body,
Right.
Do you. I mean, I don't care what you choose to do.
Right.
As long as you're not hurting other people. And some people could say, well, they're hurting themselves. It's like, yeah, but they should know that. Like,
right.
That's common sense. Like, if you're going to eat Twinkies every day, that's not good for you, and you should know that.
Right.
And if you choose to do that, well...
it's on you.
Yeah, it's on you.
Right, yeah, no, exactly.
So,
I agree.
So that's my take on the whole thing, but, I don't know. I think I said what I said.
No, for sure. I mean, on here, like, me, Kim, and Anna at times, like, we'll somehow get on the religious talk.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's been known for anybody who's watching now, if you've seen past ones or not. Like,
yeah. I
mean, I'm not religious. I'm not gonna be like, I think an idea is cool, but when it comes to, in the paranormal, they're like, there's some that are like, they're like, who's here? The devil. I'm like, is it just somebody who's passed away that are just like, I'm gonna be this person and I'm gonna freak you the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's just my take. Well, I feel like if you were a complete asshole when you died, like, when you died, like, that's how you're gonna be. If you choose to stick around, you're just gonna be that asshole. It doesn't matter. What it is, like, that was just your impression on the world, so that's your impression that you're going to carry over with you.
I think if people get comfort from something, like, if they're, comforted thinking, like, oh, like, God's watching me, or, like, Jesus is looking out for me, then who am I to really care and judge that?
Yeah.
But, like, I get comfort from cats. so, I mean, we're not one and the same there. I mean,
right.
Like, I mean, do whatever you got to do to get through life and be happy and peaceful. But don't, at the same time, like, my only advice to people would be, like, don't prevent yourself from, like, living life and enjoying yourself and, like, having fun. And I don't mean, like, raunchy, horrible fun, unless you really want to. But I just mean, like, like, if you want to go out and, go to the all-you-can-eat buffet and go to the bar with your friends and get a little drunk and be a little rowdy and just live life and not really obsess too much over what everybody else says or thinks. I mean, it's your life. Like, life's too short to not... And this is where the whole paranormal thing comes back, because, I write about death all the time, tragedies, murders, suicides. Life is super short. Even if we live to be 70 years old, like, that's super short.
Mm-hmm.
So just have fun while you're here, be cool, be a cool person, eat your shellfish,
Right.
And you can be judgy to people. If they deserve your judgment, then be judgy. But, if, maybe don't say it out loud.
Yeah, that
you don't want to be in a fist fight with a person.
Yeah, that would never ever happen.
Right.
It never happen. Never. But no, anyways, unless anybody else has questions out there, which it kind of, like, really ceased with the question. I told you, like, it might go strong, and then it's just like,
we're not going to talk anymore. I'm like, I hate you guys. Not really, I don't hate you, but I hate you. But it is 8 o'clock, and I mean, I could keep going for a while, but I mean, I don't want to keep you from anything, being that it is Sunday, and you're like, I got to write 2 chapters or 2.5 chapters, and you know, you probably want your beauty sleep so you can just wake up and be like, I'm getting this shit done now.
I look homeless when I write my book, just so y'all know. You might see how glam I look in my headshot. I don't look like that when I'm at home writing my book. I look straight up homeless. My hair's a mess in the back. I got on like mismatched pajamas. Yeah. And I look like a Victorian child that has like a coke addiction. Yeah. Hey,
you know, you write how you gotta write, you know? Do what you gotta do.
Amen.
But before we finish up, is there anything you want to say about like your books? I know I keep having I got a little graphic on there that's popped up from time to time. I know you can get them on Amazon.
Yeah.
You said Barnes and Noble?
Barnes and Noble, bookdepository.com, I think Target.com has Walgreens sells them, as far as I know. Like Walgreens in the Detroit area should have Walgreens in Bay City should have definitely check them out if you like scary like really scary ghost stories. Haunted Detroit's probably going to be more your speed, but you know, if you're looking for just like, if you're interested in like red light districts and kind of like raunchier bits of history, maybe Haunted Bay City, because you know, a lot of the hauntings take place in the former red light district, and, you know, it's kind of interesting stuff, honestly. You know, how it used to be and how they would, you know, historically cover up the prostitution and things. So it's interesting. Yeah, so if you're looking for a good read where you can learn something and just be a little spooked out, check out these 2 books.
And then wait for a new one.
The new one.
Probably out next year, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Okay.
And the goal is that we are going to hopefully set up some type of event where we can all go get wasted together. Because this is like the farewell tour, you know what I'm saying?
I get you for now until they're like, look, we need you to write another one.
If somebody ever wants to write a book with me, like a person that has some kind of experience, preferably somebody who, you know, has a status. I mean, not trying to cut anybody down, but Jane down the street may not be the best fit, you know, to write a book with. But, you know, if you have some kind of a platform and you have experience with the paranormal and with writing a book, I would love to write a book with you. But I just don't think I want to write another one by myself.
Or if you're good at research.
There you go.
If you're good at research, you're good at digging stuff up online or in the libraries, you know, like the good old days.
Yeah, or synonyms.
Yeah.
If you're good at synonyms.
Right, come up with another way to say ghost or spirit.
There's not that many ways.
I know. One that people are going to be like, what the hell is that? And then, you know, like, oh, I get it. I got it now. Hey, it's a learning experience. But no, they are really good. I enjoyed reading them. I personally knew more about Detroit than I did about Bay City, but it was really interesting to read about some of the stuff in Bay City and not just watching persons' movies that will not be named that were like, okay. I mean the movies. I mean the places itself, I'm like, that seems pretty badass. But the movies themselves are like,
I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
I got a story for you after this.
But yeah, do that, and then you can find her on Facebook, and then your paranormal team. What was the name of your team? I don't know if we ever said it.
Tri-City Ghost Hunter Society. I have Facebook and Instagram. No, I'm sorry. I have Facebook for the Tri-City Ghost Hunter Society. It's just facebook.com/TCGHS. And then if you're wanting to follow my social media for my author page, it is just /author Nicole Beauchamp. Now, I know my name is a little complex, but it's up on the screen right now. And if you, for some reason, can't remember how to spell it, just type in Haunted Detroit book on Google, find my name, and just literally put author in front of it. And you will find my Instagram and my, I think, TikTok. I think I have it on my TikTok right now. And I also have a public page on Facebook. And I do a lot of events throughout the year. I post a lot of cool travel videos. I post really cute pictures of my cats. So it's pretty much like all my interests. And, I feel like I got something for everybody. But nonetheless, it's very entertaining at times as well.
I can imagine, yeah. And then on that note, on my end, if you are watching this and you're like, I haven't subscribed, do it. Do it now. Do it right now. Now. I'm assuming you did it, so I'm going to move on. You can also, as you've seen probably multiple times on the bottom of your screen there, we're on all social medias, though they've all been kind of neglected lately. Like I said at the beginning, if you've been here at the beginning, or if you missed the beginning where I said this, the last few months, super busy. I had time to sleep, wake up, go to work, go to the other work, come home and sleep, and all that fun stuff of doing the same thing repeatedly over and over again. So I'm going to be getting back into that, along with videos coming back out. But yeah, you can find us on the Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitter. I don't know who tweets anymore. I don't know. I don't think we even keep up with that one. It's okay. You can ignore it if you want, but I mean, you don't have to. And then TikTok, which I know is really famous. I don't get it. I don't understand it, but whatever. Kim manages that for me. Thank you, Kim. I hope you're watching. Otherwise, I'm going to glare at you for quite a while. And then, as you can see there, you can, if you feel like donating to our channel, all that money that we get donated would go towards like equipment, putting some more production into the YouTube channel, the live stuff, the video. The videos that we have when we go out and investigate, stuff like that. I don't. There's something. Kim does this part. I don't know. Let me look around. Oh, have a website. You can buy some sweet stuff like this shirt that you can't really see. Boom. Plus a few other variations, and then you can also get like hats, beanies, hoodies, etc. Or you can, if you want to hit me up directly, I do have a few different like sticker stuff that you can buy, and I can just mail out to you. We can do everything through PayPal or Venmo. That's fine with me. And we also, you can't really see them, but they're back here. And there's little images, but I also make the energy pumps. I'm telling you, I cannot do this today. Energy pumps, which produces more energy, EMF energy for any type of spirit contact that you're trying to do, whether it be EVPs or spirit box or K2 meters or dowsing rods, etc. I make those too. You can also find those on the website. You can actually, I have these. This is the most famous thing that I have, and it's not really famous, but that you can actually find them on one of the ghost stores online, like the ghost shops for like paranormal equipment. So if you wanted to do it that route, so it's more legit, I guess, even though my website's pretty legit, you can go to that. It's on the ghosthuntersstore.com, I think it's what it's called. I might be wrong on like the S or something, so you might want to Google it. But yeah, other than that, it is what it is. Check out her books. I'm going to be at the Halfway to Halloween Takes Over Christmas event on December 10th. I will be there with a vendor booth. So you can stop in, and if you go to that, you can chit chat with me. We can talk stories. I have some good ones. Or you can buy some stickers or a magnet or something. That would support us too. Or I'll have the devices. I'm rambling. So, anyways, do all that I said. Do everything that she said, or no, just do everything that she said too.
And then we should be back next month as well with a December live to wrap up the year with whatever bullshit we come up with. But it'll be fun times, and you know it will be. Anyways, I'm done rambling. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the questions. And again, if there are any students that I substitute teach for in the Clio school area, like middle school, high school, what's up? If you watch this, let me know. Because keyword is going to be pineapple. And then I know for sure that you watched it. You're just not blowing smoke up my ass. Anyways, I'm done rambling. Thanks for watching. Tune in next month. Share stories online. Check us out. Subscribe, and subscribe some more.
Yes, thank you.
Create multiple accounts. Multiples. And I got to get my hotkey here so I know how to end this properly. All right. See you later.